All right, welcome everyone to my Empowered Women's Call. This is a coaching call that typically I run exclusively for my team. But I woke up this morning and usually I live it into my team page actually. We don't really utilize Zoom for it anymore. But because there will be some use of some strong language, I wanted it to be opt-in number one. But I also just woke up and it was on my heart to open this training up because I really am passionate about impacting women around the world, whether they're a part of our business or not. I have gone through many ups and downs on my own journey to finding self-love and self-worth and finding my voice and being able to use my voice. And, you know, it's the most powerful, precious gift that I've ever been given. It's so much more precious than, you know, the financial independence that I have, because if I was to lose that, I still have that gift. I still have my voice and my power and my self-worth intact. And I know how to go out into the world and create what I want to create. And, you know, that's something no one can take away from me. And there was many years of pain and struggle leading up to finding those qualities in myself. So I do feel that I have been put on this planet to be a light for others, to share vulnerably about my own journey. I tear up even saying that. And I really hope that in some way this makes an impact for you today, the way that it has made one for me. And I have so many incredible mentors in my life. So everything I'm sharing with you, I'm simply passing on from the people who have impacted me and helped me on my journey. So before we get started, let's do a little social media. Everyone get ready with a nice smile. Let's get your phones out. I want you guys to tag me on Instagram stories. I want you to share with me at the end of this what impact you got from this. You know, social media and us being loud and proud about what we do and what we're passionate about, it allows other women to step into their greatness. So we can't be scared about holding back the gift that we have, no matter what, you know, where you are, whether in the business, someone else's business, because I have opened this up. My Instagram is Kira's Wholesome Kitchen, or you guys can follow me on Facebook. So I'm going to do a screenshot because I'm on my computer. All right, so everyone's smiling. I don't know where to look on my computer. That's the problem. Okay. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to give you another warning because we've had another 60 people jump on. In the second half of this training, there will be some use of some strong language. If that is not for you and you get offended by words, then you are welcome to jump off. And I recommend that you have headphones handy if you have children in the house. Okay. All right, so I'm going to be sharing really around how to break through some limiting beliefs. And there's lots of tools to do this. And particularly if you're in the network marketing profession, you know, we are bombarded with podcasts and tools and recommendations like I am statements and all of these things. And I've had all of these tools in my life, but it doesn't mean that those self-belief challenges don't pop up from time to time. And this training I'm taking you guys through now is actually what I did for our retreat participants. We had a retreat for our team a couple of weeks ago in Noosa, where 200 of our team came together, and I took them through this strategy. And I did touch on it at Fraser's. If you were there on the weekend with Fraser and Rob, I touched on it, but I didn't go into it because it wasn't my event and I didn't really feel it was appropriate to really do the full strategy. So that's why I'm doing this today, because we had hundreds of team miss out. They weren't at the retreat and they had requested because there was so much feedback of how much of an impact it made. So many of you don't know my journey. So I was a stay-at-home mum for 8 years. I believe that I always thought I was just going to be a mum. I think part of that was down to my self-worth. Even as a teenager, I was just going to be a mum. I didn't understand being a career woman. I wasn't driven by that. I'm driven by freedom and flexibility. They're very strong values for me. And it never made sense to me to work 9 to 5 for the rest of your life and building a career and never really getting to live. But I also think there was some self-worth stuff, lack of belief that I could be anything more than just a mum. So when I became a mum, it was almost like a freedom ticket, because I was working all these 9-to-5 jobs. I was studying all these different things, and all of them just seemed to suck my soul. Like nothing lit me up. I was not excited about any of the things that I did. And really it just made me feel depressed. Every Monday I felt sick to my stomach to go and be owned by someone else for a crappy wage. So I did transition to finding my passion, which was being in the health and fitness industry. And that's when my soul did begin to light up. And that's just when I became a mum, actually. Finally found what I was passionate about, and that's when I became a mum. And being a stay-at-home mum was always my highest value, and we sacrificed massively financially in order for me to be there for my kids every single day. Now, although I would never sacrifice that, and it is the best, most rewarding thing that I've ever done and the most important role to me, over those 8 years, I lost my identity. And in that, I completely lost any shreds of self-worth that I had leading into becoming a mum, because I didn't make any income over that time. I had no power. I wasn't using my voice. I wasn't getting outside my comfort zone. And as we know, when we're not outside our comfort zone, yep, it's recording. When we're not getting outside our comfort zone on a consistent basis, we're either staying stagnant, but likely what's happening is you're sliding backwards, right? You're either growing or you're dying. You're usually not in between. So I became so painfully shy that I didn't even know how to use my voice in social settings with my friends, with my best friends. And I became so aware. I remember sitting at a dinner party with two of my closest friends, and her husband looked at me and said, "You're not funny," like, because we were talking about who was funny at the table. And I would say that I'm funny. Like, that's a personality trait that I own about myself. And he looks at me and he says, "You're not funny." And it hit me in the heart that my own friends have no idea who I am. Like, I don't show up as me for anyone but my two girls and my partner at the time. We're the only ones who really, and there was one or two close friends that I felt completely comfortable to be myself in front of, and knew that they didn't judge me, and didn't feel disempowered in their presence, I guess. And so there was like 5 people in my life who knew that I was funny. And that was a real hard-hitting moment for me to realize that I wasn't being myself, and that I was so in fear all the time of being judged and using my voice. When I jumped into this industry, it was so far outside my comfort zone, but we had so much financial stress in our life that something had to change. It was survival. Imagine, and not that it got to this point, but imagine you couldn't feed your kids tomorrow, right? You'd pretty much get outside your comfort zone and do anything, right? So we're at that level of pain where survival pushed me to take action on something that was way outside my identity, right? We know that this profession is all about talking to people and networking, and that was definitely not on my skill set at the time. And so, long story short, step by step, little bit by little bit, supported, I was able to really create some financial independence, which, filled up my self-worth and helped me find my voice and get in touch with myself again and find that inner strength and really bring some passion and joy to my life. But about 12 months into the journey, I had a moment where I was so frustrated. I still wasn't using my voice 12 months into my business, and I really wasn't making waves. But it's like, and I want you to ask yourself this question now, because you all have a bullshit, like noise in your head. We all have noise in our head. And I had so much noise filling my head about my worth and who I was and who I couldn't be. And I had this, but deep down beneath that, I've always known that I have incredible potential. I've always known truly in my heart that I have a lot of gifts to bring to the world. So there was a lot of sadness in me because I wasn't utilizing what I knew to be true. So I had this enough is enough moment, and I was speaking to one of my friends who's one of my greatest mentors in my life, and she said, "Be so loud they can't ignore you." And this became my mantra because it hit me in my heart, in my core, because it hurt so much to realize I'd been screaming in my head on the inside. I felt like I was sitting against a wall for the past 10 years. And, I love the phrase, what's that dancing one, girls, that I love that's on my team? I'm trying to think what it is now. But basically I was watching everyone dance with life. and I was against the wall watching everyone else participate rather than participating and let life happen for me. And, you know, I was screaming on the inside. No, not dance like no one's watching. It's from a song. I've actually got it on a card here. Let's see if I can find it here. And so that was my enough. When you get the chance to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I was sitting out. I was sitting out for years and watching everybody else. You know, I had so many successful friends who were incredible, and they were making life happen for them while they were dancing and I was sitting out. And so that was my turning point. That was my effort moment. Effort at myself, like not at people who didn't believe in me. It was my fault that people saw me in my limited potential. And that's when I decided to make a change, level up, start using my voice and embrace who I am. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't had challenges along the way. It doesn't mean that I've had, you know, I haven't had challenges with my confidence. But you know, that, you know, when we talk about I am statements and all of these things, if they don't hit you in the heart, there's no point reading a card that someone gave you that says, I am strong, I am powerful. You know, it's so easy to glaze over them and not really embody them. You know, for me, be so loud they can't ignore you. I said that 100 times a day to myself when I had to pick up the phone and make a call that I didn't want to make. You know, when I was like running for a goal and momentum that I wanted to create in my business, anytime I felt fear, I would just be so loud they can't ignore you, be so loud they can't ignore you. And, you know, for the next 12 months, you know, my name was, I was constantly kicking goals and hitting milestones and winning awards and being so loud, and people were like, where the hell did this woman come from, right? So so that's my story, and I'm going to go through some a new strategy actually. I have had some changes happen in my life which were quite unexpected in the past 6 months, and unfortunately, or fortunately, because I do believe everything happens for a reason, and I'm very at peace with it now, but my partner Adam and I, we've decided to separate. So it has brought up, or it did bring up, a whole wave of new fears and beliefs that I had attached to what it meant to be an independent mum. And when we're in fear, we're not in our potential, we're not in flow. So there was a good probably 8 weeks in my business where I stopped being in flow, where I stopped taking action because I was in fear. Now, luckily, I know the importance of having coaches and mentors to help you through moments like this in your life. And I had a coach take me through one of the most incredible processes that I needed at the time. And, you know, and I've had to work through some stuff pretty quickly. I went and got a coach straight away because we have a team of thousands of people, and I feel that responsibility in my heart to make sure that I can show up and serve, which has just been the greatest gift, by the way. I just want to extend gratitude to all of the people in my team, because you've given me the reason to be strong and to get my shit together and to keep moving forward in my life. And I just can't, words cannot express how deeply grateful I am to have that community. And that is what is so great about our profession. You know, you have so many people, there's so many times that I'm raising people up and holding people accountable to their best, but it works both ways. You know, they're there for you when you need them too. So although I may not have been very vocal at times about, you know, the challenging days, I want you guys to know like how much of an impact it has been for me, and I'm truly grateful. So let's get back on track. So where does confidence come from? So confidence comes from taking action. You know, it is so incredibly important that even though we're feeling fear, even though we have all of these limiting beliefs in our head, the more that you sit around and wait for confidence to come, it's not going to. You know, doubt will take you out of action, but taking action takes you out of doubt. So whether it be this profession, whether it be some dream or vision that you've had in your life all this time, but you've had too much fear to take that first step, you know, whether it's, you know, making a new circle, a new network of friends who are higher value and, you know, dream bigger and will hold you accountable to creating more in your life, whatever it is that you've been having fear around and a lack of confidence in, You've just got to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take the action. Because when I started this business, as I said, I had no self-worth. I had no love for myself. And it was in taking the action out of desperation, because we were in survival mode, that I found my confidence bit by bit. The more action I took, the more confidence I gained as a woman, the more I proved to myself how capable I really was. So you've got to take action. The next one is being mission driven. The times where I am in most flow in my life is when I am on purpose, when there's a purpose that is greater than myself. And, you know, I really, really love the quote, if you want to find yourself, lose yourself in the service of others. And it's so true. I believe that we live in a society that is so self-obsessed. You know, we're like selfie central. We're just like in our heads, constantly talking to ourselves. You know, you make me feel like this. I'm anxious. I've got depression, and like obviously there are medical constraints around that, obviously. But I truly believe that sometimes we just drive that drama ourselves because we are so self-obsessed. When you're in your head thinking about yourself, you are in suffering, whether it's anxiety, whether it's a lack of belief, whether it's feeling lack of joy, lack of gratitude. We fuel that ourselves by focusing on ourselves. And if you want to learn more about that, go and look up One World Academy. It's the most profound work I've ever done. I've done 3 courses here and traveled to India. It has honestly taken me out of suffering and helps me live in a beautiful present state not every day. Obviously, we're not perfect, but I have the tools and resources. And so they taught me how to go from I consciousness, I, stuck in my head, to becoming aware when that happens and being able to come back to one consciousness where you're present with the moment and in connection with everything around you. When you go from your head to your heart and you connect with the external world and how you can bring more love, how you bring joy. If you're not feeling joy and confidence and passion, it's because you're not bringing it. Like, stop being a victim to life, step up. You have to bring the joy. You have to choose to be happy. You have to choose to focus on all of the things to be grateful for, whether you are financially abundant or not. There are a million things simply by living in this country that you can be grateful for every day. And it's your responsibility to bring that. No one can make you happy, and it is not anyone's responsibility to do so. It is your responsibility. And if you have children, it's your responsibility to lead by example for them. So when I get into that space of one consciousness and connected with how everything I do impacts the world and the environment around me, starting with my children, you know, my inner state impacts my children. If I'm frazzled and self-obsessed, how do you think that energy shows up for my children, let alone the world? So the more that I learn and embrace being mission-driven and purpose-driven, the more I focus on how to show up and serve, the more I've found myself, the more I fell in love with myself, the more I've been able to embrace the great qualities about me, the more I've been able to grow into my potential, the more responsibility I feel to grow as a person because of the service I want to be to others. So for me, I read my mission statement every single day. That's a whole separate training, which if you guys want me to, and I get enough feedback, we can come back and do that. But it helps me get in my heart space every day and reminds me why I do what I do. And what happens then is you shift from needing to be motivated to being internally driven. You have this internal fire that inspires you into action. So when I'm mission driven and on purpose, no one needs to motivate me to get shit done. And I feel like I'm on drugs. Like, I am like training my butt off at the moment at the gym, and I'm out every day and I'm working so hard. I work late at night, and you know, I just actually had my iron reading done recently, and it's dropped really low again. And the doctors are always like, how are you even like functioning right now? I'm functioning on inspiration. Like, I just feel so lit up. And when you have to make that call to a customer or whatever it might be, when you get in your heart space and you ask yourself, how can I impact this person today? How can I show up for them? You stop the self-obsession of what are they going to think about me? I'm too shy. I'm too this. It's all selfish thinking. Start thinking more about others, and this will help you find yourself. You're not lost, okay? The true self is in there waiting to shine. And I believe mission is how you will access that. The next one is practice, practice, practice. You know what blows me away is that so many people, and we're trained this way, so I get it, right? We're programmed through schooling to show up for someone and have to be told what to do, when we're allowed to pee, when we're allowed to eat. Like, everyone is just stuck in this ridiculous, like, like they're just little worker bees. That's what we're trained to be. Not many people have that open entrepreneur mindset to break out of that. That's my challenge to you guys right now. Do you want to be someone's worker bee where you're manipulated and controlled for a minimum wage for the rest of your life? Bought at wholesale but sold at retail? Or do you want to level up and actually make something of your life and be someone bigger and above average and have your own mind, right? When we get employed, we have to learn the skills, right? We show up, we get paid to learn, we practice, 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 we get good at our job. Well, if you're in this industry, it's the same thing, right? Is that you're not going to be good at it in the beginning. And don't let that hurt your self-worth. Be willing to grow. Everything takes practice. Just because someone's not holding you accountable or paying you dollar for dollar, like the hours that you work now, today, have a bigger vision, a bigger mindset beyond that. Be bigger and better than that. Stop being controlled and manipulated by people, right? You are the queen of your kingdom. Create an incredible kingdom. You are the creator of your destiny. Start taking that control back. Being willing to show up for you, and instead of 40 hours a week making a minimum wage for the rest of your life, to retire for like 10 years if you're lucky on superannuation that's barely going to give you a lifestyle. How about you take control of your life today? Be willing to show up for you. Raise your standards of what you would pay yourself. I loved what Rob was saying on the weekend, like, are you just fake working in this business, or are you really taking control and stepping up? Would you pay you for the activity that you take? So be willing to practice and you will get better. The next one is tools. And this is the second half that we're going to go into now. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness of those thoughts. We all have the bullshit noise. Okay, that should release you of like the anxiety or the thought that you're the only one. We all have the bullshit noise. You are not the noise. You are listening to the noise. You are the unlimited potential, listening and allowing this noise to lead and control your life, right? So the goal is not to never have another negative thought again. The goal is to master it, right? I want you guys now, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to turn the aircon on because I'm getting really hot and sweaty. Just give me 1 second. All right, thanks guys. Sorry about that. It's so hot. Getting a bit passionate in here. So we all have the inner mean girl. I want you to give her a name right now, okay? Who's that bitch that shows up that you would never let talk to your kids the way you let her talk to you? That you would never let talk to your best friend the way that you let her talk to you. So we've got Debbie Downer. Let me know what some say negative Nelly, but maybe there's just like some name that really pisses you off. You knew some bitch in high school and she was such a pain in the butt. If you see your name pop up in this list, do not be, what's the word? Don't get, mummy blank. Sometimes my mind blanks out, just so you know. Don't get offended. Thank you. You guys can just like kick in and help me out when that happens, okay? My brain can reconnect. Don't get offended, right? Okay, so if being offended by what someone else says or does, once again, is your own silly decision, right? Okay, there's some fun names in here. I love that. You guys are hilarious. I love it. Okay, so expect her. She is showing up. Nasty Nikki. Nikki's my sister's name. No, I'm just kidding. It is my sister's name, but I'm not going to be offended. She is going to show up, right? Nasty Nikki is fucking coming for you, right? Expect her. Be ready for her. That should release you already. Like, that bitch is going to show up every day. but you are going to change your relationship with her. If you're just showing up on here now, this is the 5th warning I'm giving, that there will be swearing. Put your headphones on if you've got kids. Jump off if you get offended by words. Okay, so change your relationship with her. Expect her. You're not then going to be surprised when she shows up, okay? Okay, so I just want to take a step back before we go into the strategy. We all have created an identity for ourselves. If I travel back, and I did a post around parenting yesterday, you guys might want to go check out if you're raising girls, and just some tips on raising strong girls. It's a big focus for me because I don't want to happen to my girls what happened to me over my puberty years, where I went from my nickname being bossy. Like, if you tried to tell me what to do as a child, I was like all over that shit. I was so independent. I was so strong. I knew who I was. I loved myself. I had a voice. And I guess some of my actions may have been bossy at the time. I didn't think they were. I just thought I was just speaking up for what was good for me. But, you know, when you have, particularly, it was mainly not even my peers. I was popular with my peers. It was actually the adults in my life that squashed my sense of self. And over time, I became increasingly shy about using my voice because I had so much pain over time attached to using it, because I constantly got pulled down for using it rather than embraced for my strength. So I became this completely shy person, and I created that identity. And as a mother, my identity that I chose for myself is that I'm an introvert. Now, if I went back to my primary school years, I was school captain, I was sports captain, like I had a voice. I was not an introvert. Where along the lines did I choose to be an introvert? When I created this new identity for myself that did not serve my success in life, it didn't serve my relationships. Like, I couldn't really have a strong friendship because they didn't really know who I was, right? Because I kept it all inside. I was too scared to be funny because it was too extroverted. I can't be funny because maybe that'll offend someone, right? I didn't want to be too much for someone because my childhood, I felt too much for everybody because that's how they made me feel. So we get to choose our identities, and they're all bullshit stories. This is what the real mind like mess up, right? Whatever identity you've created for yourself is just the ones that you chose to embrace, because one of my greatest values is kindness, and I really try to lead with that. But there's the bitch there too, right? There's the mean Kira and the kind Kira. There is, you know, the extrovert and the introvert. You know, when my kids are messing up, do you think I'm shy and introverted? No, I know how to be an extrovert when I need to be. You know, when Adam, you know, when we were in together, like if he did something I wasn't happy about, I wasn't an introvert, right? I had the extrovert in me. So there's always evidence to show that you have light and dark, but you have chosen which ones to label yourself with. And usually they don't serve your success. However, they serve you being in your comfort zone. So for me, labeling myself as an introvert allowed me to be in my comfort zone and never get hurt. So it was serving its purpose, but it wasn't creating the destiny that I wanted to lead. Okay, it was fucking my life up, basically, right? So I want you guys to come back to that, and I want you to think about some of the shitty identities that you've embraced about yourself. And, you know, just, yeah, maybe write a list of those and just bring some awareness. With all personal development work, it's never about judgment. Awareness is power. It's so powerful. When I become aware of, you know, behaviors that aren't serving me, or, you know, mindset shifts that I need to make, I don't judge myself for them. It's not another opportunity to have a pity party about how I suck and see I'm so shit and so this and so that, right? It's not to justify the bitch in your head. It's to become aware so you can break the habit. Awareness is key. It's the first step. It's the game changer step, because then you can change, right? Then you can grow. Then you can embrace, you know, all of your potential. So just be mindful of that, that the more you, and it's everything in life, right? The more you are steadfast on a belief, the more you're fucking your life up, okay? Beliefs can be challenged always, right? Some people think iPhone is the best invention ever. Others think it is the worst technology ever, right? And we can find evidence for both, right? At the end of the day, who freaking cares? Why are you going to waste energy, right, on it? And it's the same with meaningful things. The more flexible you can be, this is in my mission statement and my mantras, that I am flexible, because I used to be very inflexible for fear of being out of perfection or seen the wrong way, right? Became very inflexible. Inflexibility is painful. It's messing up your life. The more flexible you can be in your thinking and see things from all sides and embrace the possibility that maybe there's a different perspective to your belief or the way you see the world or the value you have, and to not feel that that makes you right or wrong. It just is, right? There's always going to be all sides. Becomes flexible in that. Okay, and the less beliefs you have that you hold on to, other than ones that add value, like kindness matters and, you know, things like that, that are really important. But a lot of the things that we believe and hold on to are actually messing our life up, including what we think about with our identity. Now, the quality of your life is going to be determined by your ability to tell that bitch to shut the fuck up. Okay, and that is the exercise that we're going to do right now. All right. Now, the reason why we're using swearing is because we want to break your state and jolt you out of your patterns. Language is incredibly powerful. And once again, I'm going to challenge your belief. If you have this belief that you cannot possibly swear and it's so offensive, said who? A human being made up the word fuck. Why is it different to duck? Right? So for me, but that's my opinion. It doesn't make me right. Okay, I'm just sharing my perspective, right? Neither of us are right or wrong if you have a different perspective. But I choose not to waste any energy getting offended by a simple word, right? Life is too short to waste energy on that. Swearing does, however, because of our cultural conditioning, it is very powerful in breaking patterns that control us. Hence why people like Tony Robbins utilize it. It's scientific. It is not just because he wants to be powerful on stage, okay? And we want to go from surface thinking to a deeper place where we can create lasting change. So when we call out that bitch in our mind, going from a very apathetic, like, that's not true, right? How different is that's not true to fuck you, bitch? Like, that's not true, right? It's a very different feeling, okay? And we're going to flow and merge very quickly from not having to use that strong language. Once you break the pattern, you can get into more that beautiful space where you don't need to utilize it. So it's just the initial transition, okay? So I want to give you some examples. So this is the fuck you strategy. And the way this came about is I was on a coaching call with my personal coach who has saved my life through the most difficult thing I've ever been through in my life. I can share with you vulnerability. My number one fear in life, not fear, because I felt very safe in my relationship. I never thought it would come to this. Which once again fuels my desire to give women financial independence, because you never know what's going to happen in life. And I truly believed that Adam and I would last a lifetime. Okay, so this came as a surprise. And anytime something bad happened in my life, my thought process was, it's okay, because the worst thing that could ever happen was that we didn't work out. And I was a single mom and we had a split family. Right? That was my worst case life could ever throw at me situation. So when it happened, you can imagine the fear and the stories that it brought up. And I'm just so grateful to my coach, because in a matter of 3 months, usually divorce takes 1 to 2 years for people to get their mindset and healing. And obviously there's still some things there. But I feel like saved my freaking life in a very short space of time. Now, it didn't mean that all the limiting beliefs were gone. You know, I kind of went through different waves, and about probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, I had a whole new wave of limiting beliefs come up. And so he took me through this process, and I got on that call after a week of crying and feeling like I didn't know if I really did have the strength. I didn't know if I really was that empowered, that I could lead my team and my business on my own. And yeah, it just stopped me getting into action, I guess, because I was just filled with so much doubt. And I got off the call after this process, and I had remembered who I was. And I've felt so incredibly empowered again since that day. So growth is always going to be a journey. There's always leveling up. As you grow, the challenges tend to get bigger, but they get more rewarding when you break through. So I'm going to give you an example of how it goes. One of my bullshit stories was that as an independent mum, I had lost some of my value as a woman. You know, I've got 2 kids to another man. I don't want to survive. You know, I have an incredibly strong mum who I guess brought us up in survival mode as a single parent. And conscious parenting is so important to me. Present parenting is so important to me. I never wanted to become the mum who had to work crazy hours and never be present for them because we were surviving. I want to continue to thrive. So one of my limiting beliefs, Nima asked me, what's one of the bullshit stories? One of them was that I'm not going to be a high value woman anymore. You know, deserving of high value experiences in the world. And he got me to call myself out, like, fuck you. Like, he got me to say it. So let me read it, what we wrote. This was, so I'm not going to be a high value woman anymore. So you got me to say, fuck you. I am a high value woman. I always have been a high value woman. I always will be. And my value increases exponentially every single year. And when I went looking for the evidence of that, every single bit of that statement was true. My value has increased every year because I give more value every year. I become a better mother, a better friend, a better businesswoman, a better leader. I've grown every year. The value I give out has grown every year. Therefore, my own value has increased year upon year. Another one was, I'm now going to be a single mom who's exhausted and juggling kids and business and not having, you know, a high value experience anymore. And we came up with, fuck you, I'm a badass goddess. I live with freedom and energy every single day. And I am a kick-ass businesswoman and an incredible mother, right? So another one, let me see what else I can share with you. Another big one for me was, I'm not going to be a good enough leader to take my team to the next level on my own. And we came up with, fuck you, I'm already a kick-ass leader. I always have been. And as my team grows, my leadership skills grow every single day, right? And so when you reframe them, you want to go looking for evidence, 3 pieces of evidence to show your mind what the real truth is, okay? Because we get so caught up in the noise, we let that bitch take over, and then we get stuck in the spiral of that, right? But when we go looking for the truth, when we quieten our mind, and this is the biggest skill I've ever learned from all of my personal development, all of the rah-rah, the clapping, the cheering, the traveling here and there for personal development, do you know what the one most impactful thing has ever been? To sit for 30 seconds and quieten your mind and get back in touch with your truth. Quieten the mind and get back in touch with your truth, which is unlimited potential. And that's what this does. The power of this is an I am statement, right? It touches me in the heart. It means something to me. What he got me to do was, am I still okay? I've just got things coming up. Just let me know if there's any challenges. What he got me to do is write out 50 limiting beliefs that I was experiencing. Tell that bitch, fuck you, that's not the truth. Reclaim my power, say it out loud what the real truth was. And then what he got me to do was to record using my voice on my phone those new statements as I am statements without the fuck you. Once I broke the pattern, reclaim, you feel powerful, like fuck you, like that's just fucking ridiculous, right? This is the truth. And then that truth becomes your I am statements. He got me to record it, and he said, you need to listen to it right now 3 times a day. Headphones in, press play, morning, when I'm having lunch, in the evening. And I mean, just getting off the call, I already had my power back. Imagine listening to that 3 times. Sorry, guys. So frustrating, technology. Fingers crossed we're going to be okay this time. Just let everyone jump back on. This is literally the only thing that still stresses me out in my life, in my business, is technology. Oh, thanks, guys. All right, so we might lose a few people and now the recording's going to be split, but we'll see what I can do about that. Because I really want to have some of you share some of your limiting beliefs. So yeah, mid-cry. So with broken state, we'll see if we can get back there. I don't even know, what was I up to? What was I talking about? I don't even know. So yeah, turning it into your I am statements. So once you have recorded that, you don't need the FU anymore. You record it in a beautiful state, with strength, with vision, and you want to listen to that 3 times a day. Now, what I know is you only fail at life if you fail to participate. And I know that out of the 300 that were on this call before, there's no way that all of you guys are going to do it, right? Because not everyone wants to change their life. Unfortunately, some of you are way cozy in your comfort zone, the way that I used to be, right? Unfortunately, some of you are not going to be above average. You'd rather be a worker bee. You'd rather let limiting beliefs creep in and not really care how that even impacts your children and the people who are looking up to you and watching you. So let me know in the chat, are you going to be the average, or are you going to level up and take control of your life and actually action this stuff, because it changes your life. I am statements will change your life if they mean something to you, if they create, if they break state and break the pattern and bring an emotional presence to you when you say them to yourself. Okay, so incredibly important. So I would really love to have, is there someone on the call right now? Please don't throw something really traumatic at me, okay? Because this is not the space, not to say that that does not deserve time and energy. This is not the space probably to have time to really deal with something traumatic in limiting beliefs. But if someone on here has one that you feel like would resonate with someone else, let me know yes in the comments if you'd love to share. Okay, Anne-Marie, can you bring yourself off mute? Anne-Marie Jansen.
Hi, Kira.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I'm going to see if I can spotlight you. Actually, you know what we should do is if I unspotlight, then it'll flip between us when we're chatting. All right, hopefully it'll flip between us. So what is your limiting belief that you say to yourself all day long?
Mine is that I'm not good enough and what I do isn't good enough.
Okay, and good enough for what? For what the dreams that you want to create in life?
Anything and everything, basically. Like, I'm not good enough to have what I want to have, be the person that I want to be, have the people around me like me for me, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And who's your mean girl? What's her name?
Negative Nancy.
Negative Nancy. Would you let Negative Nancy talk to your kids like that?
No.
No. What a bitch.
I know, right?
Let me know in the chat if you have this same thought. Watch the chat. Who thinks they're not good enough? So I'm really sorry to break it to you, babe, but you're fucking not special. Right? Everyone has the same bullshit thought, right? Which straight away should be, you know, quite impactful.
Yeah.
Because right now you're in this suffering state that, oh, just I'm not good enough. Because do you think the people around you, do you think that they're deserving and that they're good enough?
Yes. Yeah.
So you only limit that suffering to yourself because you're so special.
Yeah.
Right? So what's the real truth? And if you need to close your eyes and get in touch with your heart and shed some tears, feel free. But what's the real truth? Is it true that you're not good enough? That you're not good enough, that you're not a high value woman, you don't deserve an incredibly high value experience here in the short space that you have on this planet? Are you a mother?
Yes.
Are you an awesome mother?
Yes.
Do you deserve to have incredible experiences with your kids?
Yes.
And show them what's possible in life?
Yes.
Do you deserve to have so many magic moments with the short space that you have on this planet with those beautiful kids and your significant other?
Yes.
So what's the real truth?
I think I'm scared. Like, I'm scared to live that life and get what I want, because I don't.
100%. We're all scared of our greatness. Once again, who's scared of their greatness? You're not special on that either. 100%, right? But your limiting belief is you're not good enough.
Yeah.
So what is the real truth? Are you not good enough, or are you so fucking deserving as every single other person that has been put on this planet, that you are a divine being with incredible gifts that you have been sent to this planet to share with the world and to make an impact, that your gifts are unique, they're not supposed to be the same as anybody else, and you're actually being fucking selfish by telling yourself that you're not good enough because you're not fucking showing up and sharing and making the impact with the world. Is that the truth?
Yes.
Let's look for 3 pieces of evidence. If that was the truth, where's the evidence in your life to show you that you are fucking deserving, that you are good enough?
It's so funny that you say that. We're actually packing our house up, and we are moving to Queensland as a family to do what we want, where we want to live as a family. So I guess that's one.
Where is the evidence of you showing up as a magnificent woman in this world that shows you are deserving? Being a mother?
Yeah, being through my kids. I have really good kids.
Are you like unstoppable for your kids? Like you would do anything for those kids?
Yeah.
There are probably times where, and I'll give you an example. We had a lady stand up at our retreat, and her thing was, I don't have the strength to do what I need to do. And when we went looking for evidence, her little boy had been in and out of hospital. I can't remember the exact story. I'm sorry if I get it wrong, but the mother that she's had to show up as, the strength, the love, like the challenges that she has overcome for that little boy, fucking bullshit that she's not strong enough. Because when it means something to her, she has all the strength in the world. She can move mountains for her child. So there's always evidence to show that our story just isn't true.
Yep.
Can you find other examples of where you are good enough, you are deserving? What do you do for work?
Just flowers.
That's awesome. So are you not sharing an incredible gift in transforming lives?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you believe in karma and that what you put out is what comes back?
Yeah.
So if you're transforming lives, wouldn't that mean that you're deserving of receiving an incredible life in return?
Yes.
What other areas do you shine in?
I don't know.
So this is my homework to you and everyone on here listening who might be having a bit of a pity party about how there's nothing good about yourself. And I want you to reach out to me, babe, after this, okay?
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to level up. I want you to write a fucking long list of all of the awesome stuff about you. Hang on, let me just spotlight you. I want you to go to town loving all of the great shit about you, all of your gifts, how you show up as a mother, as a partner, as a sister, as, you know, a daughter, like however you show up in the world. What are the gifts you had as a child? You know, what is it that you shone in as a child? Were you artistic? Were you sporty? Were you, you know, intelligent? Like, we don't all get those skills, all of those skills, right? It's normal, right? So rather than comparing, focus on what is magnificent about you. What are your superpowers? I want you to write a long list that it takes you ages to read it. I want you to send it to me, and I want you to read it every day. Because right now, the block is you're not willing to ask yourself, but what if there was? What if there was a lot of examples to show you that you are good enough?
Yeah.
And I think we've been brought up to not embrace the great things. It's like we're not allowed to be proud. We're not allowed to celebrate ourselves. And so then we become these women who are afraid to use their voice because we got called bossy. We were afraid to light ourselves up by shouting to the world what was so great about us, because then we got called proud and a show off and, you know, up ourselves. And now we're these shells of ourselves where we're too afraid to be all that we are because we're scared that we're too much.
Yep.
So the real truth is you are fucking deserving. You are good enough. You always have been. You're here for a purpose and a mission that is unique to you. There is some reason, some impact that you alone can make. And you will always be good enough. You're a divine being. You're just as worthy as anybody else. I want you to write that in your own words in some way.
Yep.
And tell yourself that 3 times a day.
Okay.
And I want you to give me feedback as you go with this.
Yep.
Yeah?
Will do. I've already started the 50 list. I saw it on training the other night. So I've started. I've listened to myself this morning, but I don't feel like it's empowering enough. So I think I might go back and.
Yeah, you have to say it with heart. You've got to feel it. And, you know, and this is like, obviously I've done a lot of this stuff now. It'll be even just awareness and it's practice. So tomorrow you might get halfway through the day and you forget to call yourself out when she comes. But then you'll be like eating lunch and you'll be like, oh, there's that bitch. I've just become aware of her. Right? And then the next day you might catch yourself 3 times. And then the next day you might catch yourself every time she pops into your head. And then you might have a crap day because you get your period and life sucks and you just want to have a pity party for a day, right? We all do that. But then the next day you're like, no, I'm sick of the pity party. She needs to go. And you have awareness again. So it takes practice. Remember, she's not going anywhere. She's going to follow you every single fucking day. Become aware of her, expect her, but change your relationship. Do not let her drive your life.
Yep.
I want you just to practice the awareness. And then even if it works for you, like for me, I am a strong woman. And so the strength serves me. For some of you, being quiet in your greatness and meditation might be a better way to break state. Yeah. All right. Is there one more person that wanted to have a go at this? Thank you, babe. You're amazing. Thank you so much because you just impacted over 200 women by doing that. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so we've got Erin Cook. Do you want to bring yourself off mute, hun?
Hi.
Hey, I'm just going to spotlight you. Who's your bitch?
Celine.
Celine. Celine is my CEO, so we won't say anything nasty about Celine. Okay, so what is the BS noise that she brings to you every day?
That I don't deserve to be happy and I don't deserve success.
Right. And is that the real truth?
I don't want it to be.
Is there a reason why out of billions of people on the planet, you're the one person that doesn't deserve success or happiness? Are you that special?
No. No.
Do you have a belief that everybody on this planet, obviously the nice ones, the good ones, not the evil ones, but like, do you believe that, every person in your family, every friendship that you have, every client's life that you touch, do you believe that they deserve success and happiness?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So why are you so special?
I'm not.
Everyone, let her know in the comments if you have this same limiting belief.
Special.
And I'm playing with you because it breaks your state, right? Obviously, we're all special. But we're all the same. We all have that bullshit noise, right? Celine is your bitch. We all have that same version, right? Different flavor, different pity party. Is the truth maybe that, are you scared of your greatness?
For sure. When you said that, it really clicked.
So so you don't deserve success and happiness because you're the one divine being on this planet that is so super special that you absolutely do not deserve that.
Apparently.
What's the real truth? If you get out of your head, silence that bitch, tell her to fuck off, get in touch with your heart space, your gut, wherever you feel the true essence of who you are, what is the truth?
I don't know. When you asked the other Julie, I think, when you asked her that, I didn't know how to answer that either.
Think about the people in your life that you do deserve above all else, that you feel do deserve success and happiness. What is it about them that makes them deserve success and happiness?
Just that they're breathing and they're good people.
Are you breathing?
I am.
Are you a good person?
Yes.
You truly believe you're a good person?
I truly believe there is a goodness in me. Yes.
So why the fuck would you not deserve happiness and success like the people that you look at as deserving? How is there any difference between you and them? Especially when you become present to the truth that we are all one. We are all connected. Why on earth would some other person on this planet be more deserving than you?
They aren't.
So what's the real truth?
The truth is I'm just as deserving as anybody else, and I'm holding myself back.
So I want you to call that bitch out. So I want you to, in your disempowered, what's your bullshit story again?
That I don't deserve happiness and success.
All right. So I want you in your strongest, as if, let's just say that Celine was telling the person closest to you that you love the most or feel the most protected of in life. And she was giving them a serving and saying, you're not deserving of success or happiness. You're shit. You're less than, right? I want you to tell her to fuck off like she was talking to someone else and tell her what the real truth is.
Right now?
Right now.
All right. I would be like, bitch, back off. You need to shut your fucking mouth, because she is just as fucking deserving as anybody in this world. And she deserves all the happiness that she wants and that she can get. She deserves to fucking stop.
So good. That was awesome. Did you feel that in your body? Did you just feel more powerful as a woman to take your power back?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Love it. So imagine you get 50 of your bullshit thoughts that Celine likes to pop up with, and you tell her every day, go fuck yourself. That is not the truth. I back myself. I love myself. I am worthy. I am capable, whatever those real truths are, and fucking own it.
Thank you.
So I want you to go and do that. I want you to repeat that one 3 times a day to yourself.
Okay.
And I really want it to resonate in your being, okay? We can all just spit it out with no meaning, but I want you to truly feel it when you say it. You're radiating now.
Thank you.
You're actually you are sitting in that chair like you own your space. And
I do. I feel much more powerful.
Yeah. And I'll put the recording up and I want you to see, initially, you didn't own your space. Right now, you are owning your space. I have goosebumps. Your whole energy is shifted.
Thank you.
That's a fucking I am statement that's going to change your life. Yeah. Good job. Thank you so much. You just impacted so many women as well.
I hope so.
Well done. Awesome. Okay. So let me know in the chat who's actually going to take control of their life and implement some of the stuff that you've learned today. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone. I'm sorry if I did, but you know, for me, this, honestly, if a bit of swearing is what it took to get me from feeling disempowered, scared about my future, you know, unsure of whether I, you know, was worthy anymore of the dream and the vision I had before becoming an independent mum. Like, if I just had to swear a few times to fucking shift that, then it's freaking worth it. So let me look at my notes and make sure I kind of got through everything. There is one thing that I just wanted to read, a beautiful quote to finish it up. And I just apologize again for it cutting out. What I will try and work out is how I can merge the two together for the recording, as long as no one has any, as long as the two ladies in that shared, you don't have any objections with the recording just being shared for anyone who asks. So this quote just really hit home for me. Because how many women feel lost? How many of you, I felt lost for so many years. I felt a sadness in my heart because I just didn't know what I was here for. And I truly believe that the essence of joy is when you are here using your gifts and giving back and serving. I think that's where we get joy from. And we get stuck in this bullshit story about how we're trying to find ourselves. The truth is you're in there. You're already there. There's nothing to find. So finding yourself is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill that got lost in last year's winter's coat pocket. You are also not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning, your bossy, other people's opinions and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a kid that became your beliefs. Remember, beliefs are destructive about who you are. Finding yourself is actually just returning to yourself and unlearning, and if excavation, are remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. Does that not just give you shivers? You know, who did you birth into this world as? You know, one of the most impactful moments I had with One World Academy when I was searching for my self-love, searching for the answers, so many personal growth seminars, and I still could not feel love for myself. And I was deep in a meditation, and just all of a sudden this vision of me as a baby came to me, and I was holding myself, looking at myself as a baby. And for the first time in my life, I felt immense compassion and love for myself. Because as a baby, of course I could feel love for myself. You know, I've had babies. You love them unconditionally. Why did I not deserve to be loved unconditionally? Of course I did. And I saw myself in my mind, in my meditation, grow up through the years, and just being able to embrace myself at every age and truly experience compassion and love for who I was meant to be before the world got its hands on me and shaped a different course for me. Now, of course, everything happens for a reason, and I'm grateful for my challenges today, because now I have a story that allows me to impact other women and hopefully pass on the gift that I've been given of rediscovering that, finding that self-love, finding my worth, finding my voice. Who were you before the world got its hands on you? Who were you meant to show up as? This is your opportunity right now to draw that line in the sand the way I did, and be so fucking loud that you can't be ignored. And never be afraid again to be too much for someone, because if you're too much for someone, they're not your people next. So thank you so much for joining me on this call. Please tag me, please, you know, reach out, let me know how this impacted you if you want more of this stuff. And yeah, I feel so lit up that I can even share this. And you know, it means just as much to me, or probably a lot more. So thank you so much for joining me, ladies.